Oh, good girl. What's up, guys? My name is James. This is Skylar. Skylar, say hi. What's up, bud? And we are getting ready to live in this 2004 Chevy GMC Astra van. What's up, bud? You wanna come hang out? So I thought I would start recording some of the stuff I'm doing. I see a lot of people on YouTube doing the van life stuff, and everything seems really edited. So I'm just gonna do one take videos and do like updates and progress. I got stickies all over my pants because it is December 2nd, I don't know, December 3rd, something like that. I am in Florida. We're in Tampa. And I'm gonna start living in my van. I'm on 3 acres of property at the moment, and the plan was to move here, expand the business, use that for a few years to grow and make enough money so I can buy my own property to set up the business permanently. I run a greenhouse, and we hybrid plants and stuff like that. And I moved in, and the landlord's like, oh, I got a job offer in North Carolina. I'm moving, and I'm selling the house. And in the 2 months since that's happened, I have not been able to convince him to let me take over the mortgage and just buy the place from him. I have not been able to convince him to just rent the place and make a little bit of extra money and either let somebody else property manage or to let me property manage, which would just be probably the easier thing because I could fill the other 2 rooms of this and make sure that everybody has rent and he gets his cut and the mortgage is paid on and on and on. And the place is great. There's a shed, a big pavilion, 2 covered barbecue pits, 2 sheds. There's weights and a squat rack in here. There's a bench press and a squat rack and a curl bar and all kinds of shit. There's a pond that's bigger than the entire property I'd moved from to here. The backyard's great for the dog. She can run around and do what she wants. There's not a lot of people here. We're not close to the city. The only reason I say it is because where I moved from, when the riots were happening earlier this year, they burned down a meat market less than 2 miles from where I live. So part of the reason I moved from where I was at is because that landlord was like, oh, if they riot again for the elections, I don't want to have my house burned down, so he sold that place. So instead of moving again, I've decided I will save money to buy a piece of property by living in the van. I have a lot of expenses monthly, but this will get rid of a big chunk of it because I'm paying $800 for rent here. One of the things I want to do with this channel is try and give an accurate accounting. I think that's what I'm going to call the YouTube channel. Of like how much money I'm putting into this, how much work is going into it, and not do these like little time lapse. I'm doing everything by myself with zero knowledge. So far, I've stripped the van with the exception of some things in the front, took all the paneling off, took down the visors, I took off all the seat belt holders back here, anything I didn't need. I've done some insulation here. This last panel is for right here. I've cut the hole in the roof, but I haven't finished. The cutter gave out on me, and I need to do like 1/4 of an inch bigger, just right there. These are all the tools that I'm using, or at least so far. There's the fan. What I have so far is the fan. I have 2 rich solar panels. I've done a lot of research of like watching people review things online for what they're using and what other people are using. Part of the start of this channel is just to kind of keep a log of everything I'm doing. And the other thing is like all the reviews I see, they're not, I've had this item for years. Let me take that back. Very few of the reviews that I see are I've had this item for a long period of time and here's how it works. It's okay, here it is, it showed up, I'm gonna unbox it and run it through the motions, which I like, don't get me wrong. Especially some of the channels I've been watching are very thorough and give you a lot of information that I didn't even know that I was looking for, so that's been a plus. Because the electronics have been the hardest part of this entire thing for me. I have an AC unit in the back of the van, and I'm like, I want to take it out, but I also like having it because the vent will be right there, and I could probably ductwork the back. I don't know. So paneling, cut that in. I've got to go run and do some errands later today. I have to return a few tools, and like I got a thing of primer that I didn't need for metal, and I got flooring for this, but I'm not going to do flooring. I already have a piece of wood cut out, and instead of that I painted it white. I primed it a few times, and then I actually hand painted the floor, and I'm in the process of coating the top of it so it's resistant because of the dog. And I'm like 5 or something coats in, and I fucked up because I started with a satin and then I switched to a gloss because I went through a whole jar, and it's got like these weird dots and another layer. It's kind of cool, but so I'll show you that later. It's like a Japanese themed. It's pretty basic. I just watched a YouTube video. So the idea over the next couple days, I have 200 watt solar panels. I'll put those onto the roof once I finish this, but before I put the cover over. Here there will be another fairing strip, and here there will be another fairing strip. I've taken them down to get the fan in because where they were at, it doesn't work for this. This also has to be cut to fit. It's too big to slide in there. So I'll finish that today. Yesterday I rented 2 storage units, an outside one for my motorcycle and my kayaks and some stuff that can handle being outside, and then I got an inside climate controlled one for most of my clothes, my electronics, my books, other random shit. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. My goal is I'm going south because it's cold as fuck. I'm sure the rest of you, I see a lot of people who they're like, oh yeah, van life, I'm doing all this crazy insulation because for some reason you're up north for the fucking winter. It's like you live in a van, you can travel anywhere. I'm going to Miami. I live in Florida. We're in Tampa at the moment. Close enough. We're like one of the suburbs of Tampa. And it's fucking cold here. Like, okay, it's not cold here now, but last night it was in the 40s. Like, fuck that. I looked at the weather for Miami last year, and the coldest it got for the whole year was 39, and it did that one day. One day it was 39 degrees. And I was like, all right, I can dig that. I can definitely go south and hang out in Miami for the next 3 months and then just make my way back north. I still have to run a business, so I couldn't go north even if I wanted to with the snow, and I've got the dog, and I hate the cold. I hate it. Granted, it's because all the cold I've ever dealt with is Florida cold, which is a wet cold. That's why most people can't handle the heat here. Like, I went to Texas one time, it was 101 degrees one day, and people were bitching and complaining. I was like, this is nothing. They're like, it's 100 and something degrees outside. I was like, oh, you guys don't have any humidity. This is great. You walk outside where I live, and it's like hitting a wall of fucking hot water. That's no problem for me. So, finish this up. Once I take the